Have you heard there's a storm coming this weekend? I know you have, because everyone is talking about it. We've been talking about it, letting you know that it's on the way. What we haven't done yet is giving you exact snowfall totals. We're getting a little closer to feeling a little more confident in giving those totals, but this is kind of a discussion on what we're looking at, why we haven't given you totals, and warning you that things may change. But it's also really important to know that this is going to be a high impact storm. If we get 6 to 10 inches of snow, or if we get some icing, there are still going to be big travel disruptions Sunday into Monday. So we want to make sure you're aware. And by the way, so does the National Weather Service. They went ahead and issued the winter storm watch. This is going to go from Sunday morning through Monday evening, and it for now includes all of central Indiana. Richmond, I know you're thinking, okay, why am I not in the watch? You will be eventually. You're just covered under a different National Weather Service office out of Wilmington. This coming from the National Weather Service office in Indianapolis. Now, let's talk about those totals. I think in 30 minutes during my drive into work, I heard 6 to 12 inches of snow. Could we get that much? Yes. Are we completely confident we're going to get that much? No. But the two longer range models are coming into agreement on where the heavy snow is and enough moisture to produce that much snow. So let's talk about the Euro first. So this is why you're seeing those totals on the internet, these snowfall maps. So this is the Euro forecasting this large area of pink, and in that area, potential of 6 to 10 inches of snow. Let's go from the Euro to the GFS, which is another longer range model that we look at. And okay, this one pretty similar in like geography on where the heavy snow sets up, but a little difference in total. So if you believe this model, the GFS, that puts central Indiana more in the range of 10 to 15 inches of snow. So this is why you're hearing these big snow totals. These are coming from model data. We just want to caution you that the track is still uncertain, and because of the track, the totals are still uncertain. I want to show you one other thing on the GFS before we go to the big wall and talk about what we're expecting. So this is snowfall, GFS 10 to 15 inches on a 10 to 1 ratio. It's also forecasting some ice, which would dramatically cut down on snow totals if we get any sort of mixing. GFS confident at this point there's going to be icing across the southern part of the state, which is the reason they have ice and then they don't have the big snow. So snow here, ice south. Let's say the track goes a little farther north. That would push the heavy snow a little farther north and the icing potential a little farther north, and then that would cut down on the potential of big snow totals for central Indiana. So you can see there's a lot in play here. I'm going to take you to the big board because we're going to talk about what we have in play now and kind of our thinking and what to expect as we go into the weekend. We just want to make sure you're aware and you can prepare now. Do I think you need to go to the store and raid the milk, the bread, the egg aisle? No, you don't need to do that. But be thinking now, okay, like for me, I'm thinking I have 2 kids that are traveling on Sunday. How do I best warn them that they may need to adjust their travel plans? I've talked to Riley, one of our producers here. He's got friends coming or family coming in for the Colts game. What's the best way to tell them, hey, you may not be able to get out safely on Sunday evening because of all the snow? Can I change those travel plans? So that's what we want you to be thinking, not necessarily focus on the fact that we could get 6+ inches of snow, but we've got a high impact storm coming. National Weather Service, we showed you the outline of the winter storm watch. This will be upgraded. So it's a watch now. As we get closer to the event, we may see everything from a winter storm warning to a winter weather advisory to perhaps a freezing rain warning, just to cover that threat of snow and ice. So stick with us. We'll keep you posted on that. I have my friend Kaylee helping me push the button today. So we're going to go from the watch now and what we're watching. The fact that this storm is still thousands of miles away, which is the reason we're not confident saying, okay, you're going to get 10 to 15 inches of snow. The storm still offshore. We've got rain and snow into the Pacific Northwest, Seattle and Portland, and we're going to watch this storm as it moves across the country, and it's going to show you as we go from the Pacific Northwest, which, by the way, center of the storm still out here with Future Track 13, it's going to make its way across the country, and once it's over land, we will know more. Well, why is that? Well, because if you think about the center of this storm still out over the open water, we don't have sensors. We've got buoys out there, but we don't have the thousands of sensors that will give us the data, the scientific data we need to be put into those computers to help us accurately forecast how this storm is going to evolve. Let's play it so you can see how it moves into the Pacific Northwest. This is tonight, by the way, at 11 o'clock. It will move into the central part of the country over the next 24 to 48 hours. This is Saturday at 7 a.m. Here comes the storm. Watch what's going to happen next. It's going to pick up some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So as we get into Saturday afternoon, you can actually see some of this start to develop. Once we get into Saturday afternoon, we're going to have a really good idea of what it's producing out west and what it's eventually going to produce here. So we've got ice and snow. You can see the complexity of this storm system. It's not going to be all snow for everybody. So let's play it as it moves into Indiana. If this would verify, we do get that mixing and lower snow totals south of 70, and we get all snow and the higher totals north of I-70. This will then make its way out as we get into Sunday night and into Monday. There will still be some wraparound snow showers as we get into Monday. So it is a complex storm that we're going to continue to monitor for you over the next couple of days. I mentioned the track. The track is key. So the heavy snow is going to fall on the north side of the track. If the low would go a little farther north, it pulls in warm air, and that's where we see some mixing. So we have to be very confident in the track to be confident and to tell you how much snow. And this graphic really kind of sums it up. So if we have warm air in the column, top to bottom, it's all rain, easy peasy, no problems. If we've got a thicker layer of warm air, but we're below freezing at the surface, we get freezing rain. Let's say we have a column of air that's got some warm air above the surface, and it's close to freezing, but not too cold. We could get a little bit of sleet. Also easy peasy. If it's cold in the layer top to bottom, it's all snow. We do think we're going to be in this area where parts of central Indiana do get some mixing, whether it be sleet or freezing rain, that would cut down on the snow totals. So I know we're kind of going inside science and kind of showing you what we're thinking as this storm system evolves. And really the best advice is to stick with us on Channel 13, on our weather app, and here on WTHR Plus, because we will be doing these extended forecasts, kind of like what we're talking about today, that will help prepare you and your family as we get a little closer to the big event on Sunday. Pretty confident in the timeline. So timing it based on that winter storm watch, Sunday morning through the day on Monday. Totals. Is there the potential of 6 or more inches of snow? Yes. Are we exact on where that's going to set up at this point? No. Will we know more in the next 24 hours? Yes, and we're going to know more every 6 hours as we get new information, especially as this comes on land in the next 12 to 24 hours. So the question mark's still track and totals. That will become more clear over the next couple of days. As I mentioned, this was just kind of a conversation to address the fact that I know you're seeing the big totals on the internet and we're monitoring it. We want to make sure we give you an accurate forecast, and that when we when we give you that snowfall map, that we're confident that you're going to get what we tell you in your backyard. So here's where we are. The storm comes in late Saturday night. It's going to impact us all day Sunday into Monday. If you have family or friends traveling, if you don't like to travel in the snow, I would plan on doing all of my errands on Friday or Saturday just to alleviate the stress that comes with winter travel. And the other piece of advice is to check back. We're going to have these longer forecasts for you, kind of telling you what we're thinking as this storm evolves. But what you need to know, a high impact storm coming on Sunday. The 13 weather team will be in place to get you through the weekend, and just look for updates. So we'll see you soon.